Good morning, everyone joining us today. First of all, thank you very much, everyone, for joining during already, I should say, summer month, when everything is slowing down and everyone is already planning some vacation. But we are very happy to host this workshop today. And just before we start, just a couple of the house rules. So first of all, everyone is welcome to share your contacts in the message box. So just for the networking and collaboration, this is the first and the most priority. And I always say, let's connect, let's meet new people, and let's start new collaboration. So even today's topic is all about that. So you are welcome to do that. Then we're gonna have the agenda today. I'm gonna give a short presentation on EDIH and clusters collaboration. Then I'll be joined by Gytis Junevičius, who is the Lithuanian Clusters Network President, and he's gonna share his real experience from the clusters and EDIH or DIH's collaboration. We will talk a little bit about that. And we're gonna have Jolanta Revaitienė, representative from our national contact point for Horizon Europe at the Research Council of Lithuania. And she will present today the possibilities where clusters, DIHs, EDIHs can apply together in collaboration, and where there are possibilities to get some more funding, because usually we get this question a lot. So how this collaboration actually works? Is there any possibilities to join any consortiums? Is there any possibilities to work on the extra funding on those topics? So that's how today we're gonna be proceeding. I kindly ask, if you are not speaking, mute your microphones. If you feel like asking any question, you can do two ways. You can type also at the message box, or you can just raise your hand and I'll give you the floor to ask the question. So please be active. Once again, please share your initiatives, please share your contacts, please network and collaborate. And I see it's 5 minutes past 11, so everyone is keen about their time. So with no further ado, I'm gonna start this workshop. So once again, welcome everyone, and welcome to the workshop, which has very deep meaning, I would say. I am, first of all, Kristina Sermuksnyte-Alesiuniene. Whoever has met me, so you know that I work with the clusters and the DIHs and EDIHs on both topics. If you've never met me, so I'm CEO of Agrifood Lithuania, a non-governmental organization which wears a couple of hats. First of the hat is DIH, another hat is cluster, and I'm also vice president for European Clusters Alliance. So in my file, there is lots of collaboration between clusters and EDIHs, and I see lots of opportunities which today are not being used yet. So let me share my slide. Okay. So if you don't see any slides, or if you don't hear me, please also let me know. I have the colleague from Agrifood Lithuania, Bernardas, so he's gonna help us on the technical side if something goes wrong. So once again, welcome everyone. Okay, let's start. So I've already started to talk a little bit about our organization, Agrifood Lithuania. So once again, we've started in 2011 as a cluster. Our organization was created as a cluster in order to proceed with the digitalization at that time in agri-food sector. And we continue, of course, in that direction. By today, in 2011, we have become also Digital Innovation Hub, and today we are also a part of European Digital Innovation Hub. Okay. So how it works, basically we unite different types of organizations. So on one side we have different governmental even institutions working with us and collaborating directly. Then we have big corporates, we have SMEs, we have startup ecosystem working with us at educational organizations, universities, research centers, and all of us together we move towards and help with the digitalization and Green Deal goals for the agri-food sector. As I started to say, we are part of the biggest networks in the agri-food sector, not only in the agri-food sector in EU. And we work together with such organizations as EAT Food. We have become European Innovation and Technology Institute Food Hub in Lithuania in 2021, and we continue to be one and represent them. So what it means that we work a lot and participate a lot in different initiatives and different projects with the priorities to implement innovations in agri-food sector. So just very quickly, let me remind what is cluster and what is Digital Innovation Hub and what we are talking today about. So probably most of you are coming from the clusters or digital innovation hubs, or as in my case, maybe you are presenting one organization, which is both. And under this cluster value, just a quick reminder, comes together with the new EU industrial strategy, with the top priorities. And clusters are being seen as one of the most front runners in order for the industries to transform. Doesn't matter which industry, but clusters are being seen as the main organizations in order to help those industrial sectors to transform. On the other side, clusters are being seen this main player, I should say, to create these new networks, which are called networks of the network. So what it means that European Union, European Commission is looking very much into new ways of the collaboration. And what is EDIH? Just also a quick reminder, Digital Innovation Hubs were created as a new initiative in 2016 by European Commission in order, again, to transform the industries, in other words, to digitalize or to lead the twin transition, which is digitalization and Green Deal. So it started from the just digital innovation hubs, but now probably you've heard, many of you have heard, and maybe many of you are part of the EDIHs. These new organizations, kind of new organizations, were created in most of the cases as a consortiums, and they are in each of the member states. So member states have chosen their own consortiums under EDIHs, European Digital Innovation Hubs. Then European Commission has approved those consortiums, and right now these consortiums are working, being funded partially by European Commission and partially by the national authorities. They are working towards the digitalization of the different industry. So the ones who have quite big experience, for example, with the clusters for 15 years or 20 years, probably you've seen in many cases that overall the roles of the clusters are changing, and more every day is being expected out of the clusters. I can answer the question very clearly. Why? Because clusters, they unite certain industry players under one roof. And why they're so important? Because they know their customers the best. When I say customers, that means stakeholders, that means SMEs, that means startups. So they can really be those field players, ground players on the side, and know right away what is needed, what needs to be brought in order, again, to transform, to innovate, to create new innovations, to implement innovations, to test those innovations. And also, they are the ones who can act as a broker for the funding, as a brokerage hubs to attract the funding, which is very important also. And as for today's topic, so how can we see this collaboration between European digital innovation hubs and clusters? As I've mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, in many cases we can observe in EU that clusters have become digital innovation hubs, or they act as digital innovation hubs, and are also a part of European digital innovation hubs also. On that, of course, but it's not 100% cases. So on the other cases, if you are just a cluster, then you for sure not only should, but I would say must, mandatory to collaborate with the local digital innovation hubs, mostly important with European digital innovation hubs. How can it be done? I've been showing this picture for a long time now in many different workshops and many different conferences. So the most important collaboration ground or foundation is through the value chain, of course. So what it means that you as a cluster, as I mentioned, you know the best what is needed, what kind of challenges your members are facing in order to digitalize or implement green technologies or to create innovations, what is needed for your cluster members, what kind of new maybe research is needed, what kind of new types of the technologies needed. And their European digital innovation hubs with the very, very clear priority to digitalize, to implement technologies, they come into the play. And that's how you can actually find the points of collaboration. You bring on the table what is needed, you say what's needed, and European digital innovation hubs can bring you back various types of services. In many cases, those services are even for free. You need to check with your national local edicts and see how they operate, but in many cases, at least what you get for free, that's usually digitalization audit. So that's a start. And the cluster already can bring the need, what is needed from their members. So this picture comes originally from the digital innovation hubs providing services. Now it comes with the European digital innovation hubs, what kind of services could be provided. But now from my experience, since I've been working a lot with the clusters, with the DICs, with the EDICs, I can truly say that those services, they substitute each other. So we can totally say that cluster and EDICs, they provide similar services. Only EDIC, as I said before, it's concentrating on the digital services. And cluster can provide much, much broader, of course, services for their members. So at this part, when we look at the collaboration, so this is the most important 4 types of areas where EDICs and clusters can collaborate. That is testing before investment or testing before investing. So what it means that you can collaborate on this ground. EDICs, they provide the opportunity to see how technology works, and clusters know what technologies are needed, what their members would like to test. Then again, support for the investment. So as I said before, it is being said and seen a lot from the experience already that clusters are being upgraded into the funding or brokerage for the funding for the startup ecosystems, for the SMEs, for the investing into new technologies. So What it means, they're becoming those hubs for the support of the investment. And EDIHs also, they provide information and at least can help you find the needed funding for the implementing of the digital technologies. So again, it is very tight points. There are very tight points in order to collaborate together. Another very important part is upskilling, reskilling, and new skills and competences gaining. That's again, for clusters, it is very important since industries are changing, new business models are being created. So on that note, it is very important also to provide with the opportunities where members to have new workers, not only new workers, but existing workers, so they would have, existing employees would have a chance, would have opportunities to gain new needed skills, again, which is very important. And EDIHs, they provide those services on the digitalization skills needed, high competences into the implementing different deep tech technologies. And last but not least, of course, service that's networking, knowledge transfer. And again, clusters are the ones who bring up front the latest knowledge to their members. They bring the opportunities for the networking, they bring the opportunities for the new collaboration types. And EDIHs, on that note, also, they are part of the bigger networks. They work with the other collaboration partners, cross-border, over the border, or networks collaborating with other networks. So they also bring the opportunities for their customers to collaborate and network and find new partners in order also to implement new innovations. So this is just to look a little bit broader. I won't go very deep. We don't have much time. We have an hour today, so I'll let other people also speak and to our listeners to have a word. So, but this is just, you know, to imagine when we talk about those 4 types of the services and collaboration services. So I call it that that there is the direct possibility to collaborate on the types of the activities. So, for example, as for the networking and innovation ecosystem building, so it could be different types of activities that EDIHs and clusters can work together on. So, such as the innovation community building, as I mentioned already, scouting, brokerage, awareness, workshop holding, different events, ecosystem building overall. Providing new experiences, bringing the opportunities in order to work together, to find the newest knowledge because for the everyday work, for the SMEs, for the members, for just any stakeholder in the cluster, during their everyday work, we don't have that much time, you know, to go very deep into what's going on new, what kind of new types of collaborations being born, and where can we participate. So here, actually, to combining those 2 types of organizations, EDIHs and clusters, there are new opportunities could be laid on the table and showed how can new network of the networks, as I mentioned before, could be created. Another one, I get a lot of question about this service. When I speak during the conferences or I just meet during different workshops, they say, so what it means to really test before invest, what it means in reality, how it can work. So I always say it could be different approaches, different business models, how to implement this service for the EDIHs and for the clusters. But what I have listed here, this is the most of the times what I've seen in the real life. So working together on the research and development strategies, working together on the overall technical support. So in many cases, EDIHs, they have the availability of the different laboratories, of the different small production sites. So where the concepts could be validated, prototyping could be made, and small productional series could be applied. On the other hand, clusters or their stakeholders, in many cases, they need that, and it's very, very, very important. Again, EDIHs and clusters working together, they could exchange on the technology basis how are the processes of the certification, how to demonstrate the products created, maybe how and where to find those demonstration sites, and what is actually needed for that. And of course, could be a brokerage for the new contract search, new concept developments, and like I said before, infrastructure is also a very important part. So EDIHs have the infrastructure in order to test different technologies or create different deep technologies, and clusters can collaborate on these bases together in order to provide these services to the members. Support for the investment or startup ecosystem creation, it's again another very important activity, which could be really tight working together between EDIHs and clusters. What it means, again, it means that common incubators could be created for not only for the startups, but also for the SMEs. Also, cluster members could act as mentors for the startups, for the other SMEs even. Cross-industrial approach could be easily applied, because when clusters are usually concentrated in one sector, so EDIHs, in many cases, they are cross-sectorial. There are only a few DIHs which concentrate or have the priority only in one sector. So in many cases, you would find that all over Europe, EDIHs, they act on the cross-sectorial basis, which is very important. So again, this is the opportunity for the clusters to working together with the EDIHs to bring this knowledge from the cross-sectorial background. And of course, again, working together on different initiatives, working on different projects and implementing together the new possibilities. And skills and training, I've already mentioned a little bit, but of course, here also very important for the EDIHs, they have the knowledge, they know who can provide the deep tech skill teaching, or maybe even new competences which are needed for the innovations to be applied, where those competences can be found. And on the other side, clusters, they know what's best needed for their members. So here the close collaboration can bring really new value and new approach to the skills and training activities. So, as I've said, clusters have become those front runners in order to transform industries overall. So just one part and the new possibility for the clusters in order to implement this quite hard job, I would say, or this quite hard role, EDIHs could come hand in hand, and this is new opportunity to get the new knowledge, to get new networking possibilities, to get new ways of cooperation, and to get more opportunities for their members to work together. These are just a very simple example that Agrifood Lithuania, as cluster, as EDIH, as a EAT Food Hub, we've been collaborating with different sectors in order to bring more value or create more value and to work together. So we, for example, are having the biggest forum on the agri-food topic in Baltic states. It's an annual forum, and even though it is based on the Agrifood, of course, but each year we bring more and more cross-sectorial approaches. So what it means, we invite more and more experts from other sectors in order to talk and discuss about the possibilities of our cluster members, of overall Agri-Food stakeholders, to work closer together with the other deep technology creators, deep technology, the ones who work with the deep technologies from the startups and other entities and businesses. And of course, during our Agri-Food Forum, we always have this topic, EDIHs, clusters, collaboration, in order to create more value for the industries. Again, these are just the examples. As you can see, during the year we always have different workshops, events. We are having different opportunities for our members to learn new skills, to participate in different events, and we try to be a part of the biggest events ourselves. So as an organization, we do a lot of use cases, and we bring digitalization in action. So you can see these are real pictures from the field, and the little boy that you can see working with the drone and computer and with the tractor, that's my son, and he's dreaming to become a farmer one day. So see, even though I'm working with the digitalization directly, so young kids, that's how I attract young kids, you know, in order to see the opportunity in digitalization and apply innovation even in such a conservative sector as agriculture. This is also just the example of our collaboration and working together very closely with other organizations. So Agrifood Lithuania was a front runner in creation of European Startup Village Alliance. So what is Startup Village? That's a new also initiative, quite new, which comes under Innovation Agenda from European Commission. And Maria Gabriel, former commissioner, was the big supporter of this idea, bringing into the innovation agenda. And that's how it started. So this is the opportunity for the overall regions. It doesn't matter Agri-Food sector or just any sector, but for the overall regions in EU to implement innovations and to start the startup villages in the regions and to attract youth, to attract new startups, to attract SMEs coming back to the regional grounds. So that's how we started and continue with such initiative. Again, we work a lot with the encouraging, empowering women in the agri-food sector. And again, when we work with those women in agri-food sector, we bring the knowledge, we bring the mentors, the experts from different sectors, and cross-sectorial knowledge, I think it creates the most value for those women in order to proceed. And this is it for today. So thank you for listening for myself. Unless you have direct questions now, we would proceed then with Gytis. I don't see any questions in the message box, and I don't see any hands. So, okay, so if you feel like asking any questions, please raise your hand. And now, please welcome Gytis Junevičius. So, Gytis, please introduce yourself a little bit, and let's talk. So, is this real, clusters and EDIH collaboration?
Okay, thanks, Kristina. Now I'm understanding more and more about the clusters and EDIH support each other, how they support each other. And I am from Lithuanian Network Association of the Clusters. I'm the president of that, so I can tell you how it works like daily, day by day. Clusters and EDIH support each other, how they work and how they see each other. I think we must talk not about the clusters, but about the members of the clusters and how they see EDIHs, or how they take all the services from the EDIHs. So I think one of the main thing what we must talk, so that is that the clusters is more umbrella and have more and more services. It's more about the R&D and supporting and value chain and I don't know, international competitiveness and also. But if we're talking about digitalization, it's more about like how we make in the kitchen all the food for our guests, for our supporters, for our partners. So that is, I think, because in Lithuania we have some problems with the companies that it's really, we're talking sometimes about turnover, but we can't at this moment talk about increasing profits. So digitalization is one of the way how we can increase the profit, and the companies looks for that. But just one thing about that, because digitalization is more, like I said, about 5 or 10% of all the services in the companies, all the day-by-day work, how they help. But if you talk about the clusters, so that is we must talk more wider, more I don't know, if you're looking for the international competitiveness, then we must talk about the clusterization. So that I think is I'm trying to say that EDIH, it's how you make everything more cheaper or more creating a value. And cluster is more international and more creating how you product services or increasing staff capacity. But I want to tell about the digitalization one more thing. A lot of cluster companies, and I think EDIH now it's helping in that area through the workshops or somewhere, like we are working with the universities, and I know that in Agrifood, EDIH and EDIH for IE, it's also there is universities, and they're helping about their cybersecurity, because we know that the company said from the cluster said it's okay, digitalization it's really we need it, but we heard more and more problems about stealing money, or like I said, going in the pocket and take your money from the company that you earned. So they really steal your profit. So that is companies afraid. And now EDIH, it's really helps in that area about if we talk about the cybersecurity. So I think sometimes company doesn't understand where the security and what is security, cybersecurity is, because there is really a lot of things that we don't even in the clusters when we talk, and we have workshops inside the clusters, and the companies CEOs sometimes doesn't know how to work safe. So that is a problem. Or other problem is that the companies CEOs knows all the stuff knows, but I don't know who works in the storage or in the factory day by day, they don't know all these things, and there is a weak point for these cyber stealers. I think we can say that that is, I think, one of the things we must talk. But one thing, EDIH is like a day-by-day work, but clusters, it's labeling, it's you go in a political area and you like making decisions and you're trying to make, and you have internationalization R&D area, so it's more wider and wider. But EDIH is helping day by day. So that I think my message is EDIH is like in kitchen we work, but cluster is who is servicing and who is selling everything to the others. But digital is helping us to create increasing more profit, increasing more profit, not just turnover, because sometimes we are working in Lithuania, we have now, it's really big salaries if you look like 3 years ago, and now it's really increasing. So we have really to think about how we must to make increase a profit, not just to know. So that's, I think, one of the reason why EDIH it's helping in the cluster, and we are from the clusters how we see the EDIH. So that is helping us in that area, I think, and knowing everything through the workshops. I think that's it. What I can say, because it's day by day work. If you have some questions for me, like from the cluster area, so be kind, you can ask.
Okay, thank you, Gytis. I don't see any hands, but I'll continue with one more question to you. So, since you have a very broad experience and you've basically have seen how clusters were created in Lithuania, and you are actively participating in clusters community, and now you're acting president of the clusters in Lithuania. So how can could you explain, or maybe tell from your experience, how actually the cluster's role is changing, and do you really see that the clusters could be the front runners for the twin transition?
Sure, from cluster area, I can say yes. We are the front runners, and European is afraid, because it's, in Lithuania we have small clusters. Is one of the biggest is 100 members we have in Lithuania, but it's average about 37. I think we made we counted last year, but I don't know really. The cluster is a big network, yes, and the network is in the common points is like R&D and creating value. But EDIH, it's helping for that, and it's like a boost to run faster and internalization. So that is, it's not like helping and going together with the clusters, but it's boosting the clusters members to go somewhere and increase more and more, because it's in the digital area it's helping a lot, and we can't like companies sitting in the clusters in our meetings, and they said without digital area we can't go next step, we can't do that. But that is it's really difficult for us, but without that we can go, but it's more slowly, and a lot of like all the runners, and you are just walking and looking for the sunshine. But if you know the business, you must run one step in the forward. So the digital area is helping there, and the clusters is really trying to integrate more and more digital solutions in the companies. But like I said, it's now I understand with the other clusters facilitators and what evening is, I forgot that name. Managers, yes, sorry for that. And for the managers we talk, and it's really increased. Now we must increase in learning and understanding what the cyber can help you, and where's the issues for the companies and for the clusters. So that, I think, is understanding now the main reason, what we must to do in the next 1 or 2 or 3 years, because the CEOs understand, but inside the companies they don't, and they see like there was a good movie in the internet somewhere, in the social media, that the robot standing near you in the factory, and you looking like in the competitors who is not helping you, but who is taking from you job. And if we talk with the companies, and company CEOs knows that is, they must like robots must help, but the workers, the employees, they see the competitors, and if we change these things, I think it will be more increasing. And I know that EDIH is helping in that area, it's a lot. So that I think this comment and this step can be going together and helping each other, I think, like this.
Thank you so much, Gytis. So unless we have any questions, I don't see any yet. I would like to proceed now to Jolanta. So once again, Jolanta Revaitienė. She's representative of National Contact Point for Horizon Europe at the Research Council of Lithuania. And she will try to show those opportunities for collaboration where the actual funding could be found. How lots of people say all is beautiful when you talk on the paper, but where is the money? How can we collaborate, and how can we get the help actually for this collaboration? So please, Jolanta.
Yes, right. So there are many possibilities, and today we have not much time to dive very deeply into all of them. So I will concentrate just at few. And I have slides. Also, I would like to share them. Yes. Here they are. Okay. Always, no matter how many years you're working with online events, there are always some issues. Sorry for that. Okay, so now, do you see in presentation mode? Not yet.
Not yet. Wait.
And why do I have the last slide? I don't understand. Okay, very sorry for that. We go on. Okay, so I'm going to present you very shortly a little part of Horizon Europe. I was told that you are not newcomers, so you know what is this biggest European research and innovation program, Horizon Europe. And there are different pillars, different programs, and I'm going to speak about two of them. These are missions, Soil Deal for Europe and Adaptation to Climate Change. EU missions, as I see now from what Kristina and Gytis presented, are really the place for you to apply, because missions seek to unite different stakeholders to attract more attention from society in order to achieve specific goals in specific topics. And this is why financially missions are in Horizon Europe, like in financial baskets, but generally they are beyond. European Commission.
I'm sorry, Jolanta. Yeah, did you try to do the presentation? Because we can see only, you know, that it's the first slide and that's it.
Yes, so this is the first slide. I'm still on the first slide.
Yes, but it's not as the presenting mode.
Okay, interesting.
Uh-huh.
Let's try once again, because I see it in a presentation.
Yeah, let's try one again. It will be easier to listen.
Mm-hmm. How about now?
Oh, fantastic. All good. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So yes, we all need digital solutions. We all need to improve our skills every day. Right. So European missions, they really try to combine different stakeholders, and that is what you do in your everyday life. So I believe missions can be the right calls for you. And now is the right time to see the opportunities, since we have calls for 2024 open. Calls are open from beginning of April, end of April, beginning of May. And I must say, majority of brokerage events already passed, and applicants are working on their applications. But since it is not a new thing for you, I believe you can still jump and you can still search for partners. And I will tell you a few places where. There was an event at the end of May for EU missions, brokerage event at B2Match platform, and it is still open. You can see there is cooperation office, that there are people registered who are looking not only to be as partners, but also as the leaders of consortium. So do register. The more places you register in, the greater are your chances to be seen and to finally join successful projects. Also participate in events. Not enough to say it every time we talk about it, and it really works to be visible in as many places as possible. So save the date for biggest soil mission event in November in Brussels, where you can see different projects, the newest, latest orientations and people who are working in the field. So really worth to participate there. And there are links to mission platforms with information about events, about projects, about news, some methodological guidelines, etc. And now I would like to shortly go through the missions: Soil Deal for Europe, calls, and then Adaptation to Climate Change mission and calls, where you can find yourself. So first of all, Soil Deal for Europe. This mission set a goal to lead transition towards healthy soils by 2030. It is a big goal, and of course not enough only this mission, but it aims to consolidate and use the method of living labs. Living labs are real sites which combines landowners, researchers, public authorities, very important partner, and end users, in order to really together set a challenge, more concrete challenge for soil, to work on it, test it, and then disseminate the more sustainable practices. So like a cluster in a way. And there are every year calls to establish living labs. Here is the list of now open calls, and we do not have time to go through every one of them, but I believe that the first and the second in particular call could be relevant to you: living labs in urban areas for soil health, which, as in a call description says, AI solution, digital solutions are very welcome, could be beneficial. And if you see in work program that something is beneficial, it is recommended to do, you have to read that it's mandatory. Because the competitiveness in Horizon Europe call is rising. This year, success rate was more than 14%, which means that you really have to not adhere to minimum requirements, but go a little bit up. And especially for living labs topics, these are most popular. So you might also consider not applying to only living labs topics, but others. And here in brown, I marked some of the topics that really require digital system creation, heavy with data collection, calls that serve the soil monitoring directive, a system that is planned to be European-wide to assess the health of soils in every country. And so this mission serves to collect data, compare indicators, etc. But I believe one of the relevant calls to you could also be number 6, harnessing multifunctional potential of soil biodiversity for healthy cropping systems. This call aims to show how recovery of soil biodiversity, in particularly using soil microbiome, could be beneficial to have better harvest, to have not only bigger harvest, but also healthy crops, and to minimize the use of external chemicals, and to test the solutions, as this is an innovation action call, so already require testing solution in real life settings. And there are other calls concerning carbon farming, number 7, number 8, and more global European footprint in globally in soils, that is call number 9. And we can see that this topic is getting more attention, how Europe, what footprint is living on soils worldwide. So if you have partners outside Europe, that's good news for you. We can expect such calls in other years too. And I must jump to another mission, which is adaptation to climate change. Sometimes I receive questions and I understand that it is not a very clear mission for some. This mission is very current. It concentrates on what we can do now as climate is changing and we have some unavoidable events like heat waves, like floods. What can we do now? Especially talking to local regions, local authorities. How can they be prepared? So first of all, to predict, to do the risk assessment, to plan what actions they need to make in order to protect their infrastructure and of course people, their well-being and their health. And this is what this mission is all about. Primarily working with regions, with local authorities, those who really have to take means, those who are really working when some like heat waves, for example, come. And of course, contribute to European goal to become climate resilient by 2050. Here I put a list of local authorities who have joined Mission Charter. There was a call to join Mission Charter, and those municipalities, regions who have joined, they are very desirable partners in mission calls. Everyone can participate, but if you see in your countries municipalities that are listed here, grab them, take them. They can have an access to mission community, to their methodologies, tools, various events, matchmaking, and for European Commission, that would be very logical that these who sign work in mission projects. But as I said, every region can participate in this mission. And here are calls for adaptation mission. Also 9 calls, and some of them are knowledge sharing, experience, peer-to-peer learning calls, number 1st and number 2nd, working with local authorities. But for your interest, I would recommend you to look more deeply at call number 4, which is aimed at researching links between climate change and biodiversity. European Commission wishes to see how biodiversity conservation, maintaining biodiversity helps to mitigate climate change, and how climate change is affecting biodiversity, and to show the successful examples, how creating biodiversity, conserving it, helps to protect, for example, cities or regions from those unavoidable negative effects of climate change. And another one very important, interesting call is call number 6, which is innovation action call, and which aims to demonstrate successful, financially viable measures to adapt to climate change. I believe this could be relevant to you. This call aims to attract private funding, especially from finance sector, from insurance sector, and to show that climate adaptation measures can be financially viable, and to find what measures can be financially successful, and then replicate them elsewhere. So financial aspect, of course, for every company is important, and here this call wishes to investigate more and dive into this topic. Others are very much related to work with local communities to address specific needs, especially for vulnerable groups, to understand how people adapt to climate change, what are cultural, economic, social issues that affect people understanding and adapting to the measures that local authorities need to take. if you see that these topics do not very much relate to what you do and you do not see yourself, there's good news that next year there will be new program. And if you look at mission implementation plans, there are mission objectives. So they correlate with topics for every year. And you see that there would be soil pollution. You see that how then it sees in mission calls, or another topic like global footprint have not yet been very much popular in calls, and now you will see that it is coming, etc. Also, European Commission this year published survey, and they asked everyone, what do you think about our orientation ideas for 2025? So you have a chance to say a word. What would be important to you, relevant to you? What issues should be addressed in calls? And this is one of the reasons why we as NCPs always want to hear about you, what you do, what you're interested in, what are your ideas and plans for the future, because we can bring these ideas to European Commission when a new work program is drafted. So not only we as NCPs can help you, and here is the link where you can find NCP in your country, but also we need you in order to serve better, to find to have the calls that could really make impact and where you can participate. Here is our Lithuanian team, and I always encourage to contact. If I cannot answer and if I cannot find the right call, my colleagues will help me to find from different clusters and missions the call that would correspond to what you do. That is all. I'm sorry. Yes, I see that I'm out of time, but it's so important. I want to tell all about the calls, and I'm willing to answer your questions by emails, or you can call me whenever you have questions. Feel free.
Thank you so much, Jolanta, for very informative, really, presentation. And as everyone can see, so everyone has national contact points in their local country on the national level. And I can really encourage also the partners who today joined, the colleagues who today joined from Lithuania, to also always turn to our national contact points. We've been collaborating a lot, and then national contact points have really been sharing a lot of useful, valuable information, challenges, and how to overcome those challenges in order to apply, where to find the partners. So I think this is very, very important. That's why they called national contact points. You know, this is the place where you start, where you can find the knowledge how to and to which call to apply. And if you need partners, they can also help you with that. So I don't see any questions, but everyone is free to contact all of us by emails. And the session, the workshop has been recorded, so you are welcome. We're going to be sharing on social media and our website, and so you're welcome to share with your colleagues who could not attend today. And I can just encourage, you know, to do more of the networking and collaboration when I get asked, so how did you manage with your organization to be in so many different initiatives? I always answer, it's all about the people. There is no magic. So be encouraged to meet the people, to ask the questions, to write the emails, and just let's join to the new initiative. And thank you everyone so much for today's participation and for a future collaboration. Have everyone a wonderful day today and fantastic upcoming summer.
Thank you. And I see there was a question about link. I suppose this is a link to charter signatories. So I guess you will receive the slides. I put the link there to see those regions.
Yes, we will be sharing the slides with everyone who has participated. So, and I also put the link into the message box. So in any case, once again, thank you everyone. One more time, thank you Gytis for participating. Thank you Jolanta for for sharing your knowledge. And once again, have a fantastic day today, everyone. Bye-bye.